Hello, gamers. Hello, noobs. This time we have a special game. Very special game, should I say, since it's a special plus. And today with me is one of the most competitive players who care about the range on all roles. Man skilled at a social deduction and not only in Avalon, but all over the board. Very proficient spy, very decisive res, many times vice captain, tournament winner, and captain of team number 3, Tom Riddle.
Yes, hello. It's always important to balance your ranges. I appreciate that you included that.
The range
Shout out to
balance, huh?
Ray.
Didn't went
Shout out to Ray.
unnoticed. And
Yeah,
yes,
all right.
this is a special game, so we have the best players. And we have Refrain, Mayor, Imbapingu, Enoki, Goofy, and Euphoria Dev.
Yeah, I already think Mayor's spy.
Already.
I mean, it's a very weak read, but he tends to off-pick on 1-1 more as an on-pick more as spy. That's my observation.
Hmm. I was really trying to pay attention to Mayor and his 1.1s because I was thinking for a pretty long period of time that he's only sort of just setting up his co-spy. And
He
I've
he
noticed him
does.
do that at
I've seen him
SVT
do
as
that
well.
a good number of times, yeah. I mean, it's definitely viable that it's bottom. Okay, well, with this pick, it really shouldn't be. So Pingu gets on M1, I imagine.
He should. Yes, he
Yeah.
should.
Mayor also will set up clean. Like he'll do the bum fuzzle pick.
The Bamfuzzle pick. I like that a lot because Bamfuzzle is known for off picking his coast by and or is just setting up cleans.
Yeah, just on picking res when it's M1+1. Also res. Okay, refereeing with the semi-accused pick. Interesting.
I think that this is like the cheapest accuse you can do.
Yeah,
Just
that's why I
remove
say
1.5.
semi-accused. Like it's remove 1-5 and then take the person they picked and hammer. People aren't like there isn't even like a consensus on what that means.
I think it's accuse.
Yeah, I'm not really sure to be honest. Well, when I accuse M1s, I always remove both players.
Oh,
That makes it very obvious. You don't pick the person M1 pick. You remove both players every time.
well, that would be an accuse, no doubt.
Yeah, that's the point. All
And
right, Pingu, come on, let's add Mare. Get him on M2. Help brother out.
any mayors on teams. So what we're gonna see is probably M1+1,
I feel
depending
like
on an
Jams is the
OK.
kind of player who might pick Mare because they'll think that Mare isn't setting up clean or something, but we'll see.
Thinking emoji.
Okay,
And
well,
you
Pingu
were
does do
correct. He
all
does
right.
have Mayor.
I like this. My boy should be on M2 now.
I also like this. When people give you info when they don't necessarily have to, I think it tends to be more brass.
Yeah. He knew with this pick, I guess this makes sense.
And well, if it's anti-Enochian Mayor, then he never accuses here because why would he? Wait, it was an accuse.
It's the picking Pingu with Mare
Yeah,
because Pingu added Mare to M1.
I like 2.4. I'll be honest, but now Mayor is just always on.
Yes. Here comes the Jams Merlin, just M1+1 and suicide maybe.
Here comes a slog, and he's 2.1 from a few games ago. I like him
Oh
one
my
plus
god.
one. Oh,
Got
that was one of the
slogged.
games. Goofy thinking here about something.
Not just picking Mare and Pingu. So
Yeah.
that's interesting. I mean, it is a little bit unlikely for Dev doesn't actually have great spy partners because whoever his co-spy is kind of hung him out to dry in M2 from Goofy's perspective. Like no one liked Dev. So
Hmm.
who is he spy with? But
Could be with
kind of
Pingu.
yeah, I mean definitely could be with Pingu, but then M1s are all fucky.
Thinking face. I feel like this is gonna be a recurring theme for this game.
Yeah, so Mare does the thing where when someone stalls, you ask for a different pick. Then like, if square minus dev would be picked, like what's gonna be picked, it should be done faster. So
I mean, I agree with not. I mean, maybe not fully agree, but it's good, a good thing to do. Like when people stall on something that's obvious, then maybe they don't want it. And
so
prompting
Mare
them
asks for Enoob,
is a good way.
and it gets picked.
Pick
Jams
Enoob.
Merlin. It's clean. Let's see. Okay.
Well, if
Do we
Pingu is
GM
a
Goofy
spy,
here?
if Pingu is a spy, then I know who's he shitting.
Pingu Dev spies? Who knows? We'll see.
Could be Pingu and
I
Ref.
Yeah, I mean it could be a variety of things still.
I think Pingu and Ref is more likely.
I think Enoob is basically never floating that. It feels wrong. The other two I could see some reasoning.
Mm, I see a lot of Mayor floating potential here.
Yeah, Mare could certainly float that.
Goofy maybe a little bit less because she was prompt to pick it. I think if it fails, then Mayor looks the worst.
I could see a Goofy Morgana where they don't know what to pick, like to try and not get morged, so they pick something and float it that follows to what else someone else wanted. That would be like the most likely reason I think for Goofy to float.
I would actually
Otherwise,
prefer this because then we will be going to M4, M5.
yeah, I mean, I would like it to have been floated. Well, I don't know if I would. I mean, I want Mare to win if he's res and that's clean. That's pretty good for win rate. But ideally, Mare's spy, obviously.
Mhm. And Dev is thinking and thinking, so the picks from his POV.
Dev, I mean, everyone accused Dev and Pingu basically, so it's a little bit weird for him to be picking Pingu, even though M1's res him here. So
Left hand side and Enub should be the most
that
obvious
that's a
pick.
thing. That's a thing. Yeah.
Other than that, well, wow. And we go into like maybe anti Goofy and Ref.
This okay. I really don't think this is clean. So
This is just a good M1's pick.
got apt 4 apps.
And it fails because of the silence.
Certainly. Mission 3 fails with 2 fails. Sad.
Well, if M2 is clean, then they will take 30 minutes on assassination. And I'm not
I
a
always get a
fan.
little bit paranoid of M2 when 3-1 goes through. I mean, it depends on who the likely spies are, but the classic just reject shit meta when
Uh,
M2's when M2's clean as spy and no one's bothering to reject this. But
hmm,
most likely the M2 will be played anyway, so
very sure.
if M2 fails, I think Mare is almost certainly a spy, honestly. When he apps 3-1 and it fails as well.
So Pink is gonna off up at a no key. What's interesting is that Ref didn't offer proof for Hammer. I mean, it's not always the best to have Hammer and M5 off upping M2. People tend to
M5
be
Hammer
fairly
is
paranoid.
relevant, but it's not as relevant as some people think it is.
Um, what's interesting is that, well, maybe not that surprising, but there's no chat. And we go to M.
Oh,
Oh,
it's clean. It's clean. Mare or
ay,
Pingu.
ay, ay.
So Goofy stalled when the logical pick was also clean. So you probably can never shoot Goofy. Like
Yeah.
if they're Merlin on 2-5, they risk badly unmerlining res doing that. Um,
What a game. And Dev
so
is Morgana.
so Ref is so Dev is spy, but his assassin did sort of put him in a bad spot.
Very ambitious 2.1.
So who do I think is Merlin here?
Well, we have three
Probably,
possible shots.
I think you shouldn't be shooting Enoob because um just like he did less. I would agree that you have to shoot in the top two. Like Enoob can flip Merlin here, but it feels like it's a low probability shot compared to Mayor who on picked a res on 1-1, which is the most powerful kind of pick, and then also asked for clean when on 2-5, and then Pingu who sort of removed Dev from one. So
1.2 is also very strong. To be frank, all of the rest
one
picks are
four is
pretty
strong to be
strong.
fair. I will say that like for Jams's candidacy credit or whatever, 1-4 um ruling out bottom as a team is interesting.
Percival to Inoki.
Yeah, I mean that would be a reason to pick 1-4.
So let me think. Mayor, Merlin. Percival is unpursing on 3.1 or is not on 3.1?
I wonder if 1-4 pick should be PR or not. I really don't think 2-5 can be Merlin. I'm sheep maybe, but 1-4. I don't know. I do think if Goofy were like Percival to Mare, Goofy would have no problem picking Mare and Pingu, just assuming his M1's good. So,
What do you think is the point of 2.1?
um, I mean, I don't know if there's much of a point to it. It's just like picking since 1-4 is a bit of a PR-ish pick, ruling out bottom as a team, you're just picking them with the person they resed, I guess. Uh, I think it's a little bit risky as spy. I mean, I don't I don't really see the need to accuse M1 and make it much more likely M2's clean if people are playing like like who's the ad? There's only one ad, then they get pick instead type picks.
Yeah, I was
So
trying to
it's
find a reason for that.
yeah, it's always risky to accuse an M1 when your co-spy is the 1-5 picker.
Yeah.
And it did not work out here. I mean, I don't know if M2 would have been clean anyway or not, but
And what's the point of... And what's funny is that Ref approved 3.1, so he didn't really want to Merlin hunt more, which I am not a big fan of.
that's why I said I was sketched out a bit. I know Dev is gonna app that it's his pick and doesn't make that much sense to reject it, but Ref I guess Ref does not really care about that sort of hunting in M3 or thought it might get rejected.
Well, people sometimes go very crazy in M3s when M2 is clean. Well, clean, blue.
Yeah. All right, let's GM someone. I really
Goofy's
don't know. This
Mare.
feels like a very hard shot. So I think
We
Mare's in
are
a good
winning
spot.
together. If we are winning.
Um
Why isn't Goofy just picking 2.5? I wonder, could it be VT? Because for some reason, man, I think like a VT would be very happy to just pick Pingu and Mayor?
It might just be that it's a Tourney game and they want to take a lot of time on picks.
But
I
then
feel
like,
but I
with
don't
like
know.
2.5? Maybe thinking about 2.4?
I feel like if Goofy's personable to either of Pingu or Mare, they should just be very happy to pick that.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
the only Percy line
exactly.
that really makes sense is to Inu.
To,
Like
to
to both
Inoki.
of Pingu and Mare, they sort of resed each other. So like one of them's Merlin, one of them's VT. Both Percy lines are very happy to just pick it. So
But
I
then,
think it
after
yeah
2.4, because then it's also like Merlin and Oki is wrestling Pingu and Mayor,
I
removing
could
Moriana.
I mean Enub could pick 2/4 as Merlin if it's not clean. I could see it because it does follow 2/3 a bit. I might GM Enoob just because of what Jams is doing, although that's definitely a punt of a GM. I mean, you can't shoot Enoob, but
Really, it's really interesting what Goofy did this game, or rather, what she didn't do. Maybe she actually had to maybe do something in real life. Someone knocked on her door.
yeah, I mean, you never know. How long did 2.5 actually take? Let's see.
I think like a
59,
minute or two at most.
2 minutes. Yeah, I mean, that's a long time for basically zero chat.
12 combos. Finger to Goofy also works. Oh wow. Well, if Goofy's
I mean,
Merlin, then that would
if
be
they
like
shoot,
the
yeah,
dumbest.
if they shoot Goofy, that's like the one the worst shot, surely. I mean, yes, 1/4 is strong, but does Merlin really take a long time on 2/5 and potentially risk some sort of
Merlining from Russ.
yeah? They're not shooting Enuf. All right, I'm gonna GM him then. Okay,
Fuck it. Goofy to Inu, the
this
gamer.
this is this is complex meta. He told me this strat where you just GM the person that spies never consider. It's a great strat.
You know, it's I can see that working because so many times when I spec, I can find some crazy shots that are correct, but when I play, I just go, "We have to shoot him." Oh
The,
no!
the the real meta to do it is because then you can look like a genius if
And
you hit the
yeah,
GM.
and it's
Go
like
for the low prop GMs.
no cons to that because you don't lose Elo, you don't lose the game, so you don't really care. You might be wrong
Yeah, I mean,
as
I
well.
GM'd correctly in the game I lost, so I basically won.
You GM on ref.
Yeah. I had GM'd Crouton in 1.0.
The chat.
Oh god.
My hero is my hero. Or whatever he said, I don't remember it exactly.
He, he said my hero is Wang or something this game because my hero claimed res, and then after 1-1 off picked him with my hero, he was like, I didn't mean to influence the game. Oh my god. I don't know. You want to hear my conspiracy theory? This is a thing Mare likes to do. Mare Percy to Pingu, setting up 2 Merlin M1. That's his favorite thing.
Hmm. Well, that would be a hard one to shoot.
Oh,
Because
and you can shoot Pingu. You probably wouldn't do it with Mare Percy, but this is a thing he does.
Goofy to Enoki or Mayor to Pingu. I love when you consider two combos that are completely, there's
I
no
mean,
common
you can go
ground.
for you can go for JSM meta where you state every combo and then you can say post game. Yeah, I called that combo because he called all of them.
I sometimes find myself saying that when during recordings, I just go all over the teams and then I'm like, oh, I did mention that team. But then I
I'm not
think,
gonna lie though, I actually kind of don't care about Percivals when I'm shooting um on a clean M2 game. I just look for whoever did the most Merlin-y stuff. Caring about Percivals is too
but
much.
I'm really happy you said in M2 clean games because yes, I agree. When M2 clean games are like, then you just don't have enough information to be able to pinpoint both Percival and
Yeah,
Merlin,
like
or just
if
Percival
if you think
even.
someone's a PR in an M2 clean game, it's pretty strong to just shoot them and not try and find who they're Percy to and like that sort of analysis.
I think
Obviously, there's
that
going to be some
you.
exceptions, but
I think you usually find Percival through M3s and chat in M4 crit.
yeah. And then the other thing with M2 clean games, you cannot trust M3 info. At
Exactly.
least in the like,
Well,
you cannot trust it as being Percy based rejects. With some
it's.
players, you might be able to. Like this is getting into player reads, and obviously this game it doesn't really apply. But like a lot of players will see M2 blue and just app a ton of bullshit.
True enough.
Uh,
So yeah, unless you
so
have a read and a player, so like last game I saw this player when he was Percival, he was upping everything and Percying, but
yeah,
like you said, player reads, and other than that, it's just very hard to decipher anything.
yeah. I mean, the most basic kind of M3 read is that people who reject things on M2 clean are a little bit less Merlin, but it doesn't mean that much. It
Mm.
depends on the player rejecting. But like if you get like noob Merlins, they see M2 blue, they just spam the app button to try and get the game over with.
Up, up. Yep. That's also the only downside of Danis, I think. So if you float him to use a spy and people just ditch him free, and you go into M5s, pretty much no info for Res.
Yeah, I mean the floating feels like it's at a very high level currently in the modern meta because of the way people have been playing M3s, which has some merit. I mean, but I do think it's a little bit underrated to not always Danis, to have it in your range to add to M2 just 20% of the time, something like that.
Hmm. Never really thought about it.
I mean, it's obviously best if you're on M2 with Bezo and JSM or something.
Basil is floating a lot.
Yeah.
I'm not sure about Joe though.
It might be a little bit unfair to categorize him with Bezo, but he definitely floats more than average, I would think.
Well, the most serial floater is Z.
The most serial floater is Brian, but I think he's currently banned
And
though.
Brian, yes, and Brian. Fully correct.
Duck when he's assassin. Only as assassin.
Some of the players I've also noticed is, well, not a lot of them. It is Brian Z, Armter as assassin.
Who are the spies shooting? I wasn't actually reading this.
Me neither. It's gonna be a 30 minutes
Yeah, that's
assassination.
why I kind of checked out and just talking about like game theory and shit because I uh I kind of don't care and I think the discussion is a little bit overrated. This kind of, but um, they're not shooting Enu. That's the only thing I got from their chat. Oh, they're looking at Refrain is going big into Percival's for some reason.
Goofy to Pingu.
They have two lines here that I really hate, which is Goofy to Pingu and Goofy to Mare. Those are like my two least favorite lines. Everything else I can believe.
Yeah, what's funny is that we think that Goofy, if Percival, it's only to Inoki.
That's my take. Yeah, I mean, I could of course be wrong here, but
What else could be there? So what do I think? Who would I shoot here? Ingo doing 2.3, but 2. Well, 2.3 kind of saves the game if you want to think about it this way.
yeah, I mean 2.3 definitely asked for clean. So it's and also M1 wasn't loved. I mean, Assassin contributed to that, but 2.3, 2.4, 2.5. It's decently likely that Morg on picked Merlin and didn't get liked for that reason.
But do you think that because Pingu is trying to fix his tournament performance, So would he be Merlin just doing 2.3?
I think its high win rate is Merlin. I mean, like Ref did it in my game. It's quite good as Merlin to just set up clean M2 and hope to live. Uh, Whatever way you can do that, whether you're picking it or Pingu sort of pick.
Well, to be frank,
Uh,
if you have a real 50-50, like a real 50-50, then it's a very good win rate for Merlin.
yes, if you can get 50% as Merlin, you are doing well because the uh, the win rate's what, like 45 or 44
44, yes.
globally. So
Because usually those 50-50s are just 50-50s in theory. People think like
yeah,
those are the shots, but I think this and this. Sometimes
I mean,
people
in
just
the game I lost, like uh of course there's some odds that the Merlin's in the top two, my hero and Z, but you literally can never shoot them with the way the game went. So you're limited to two shots. And then Merlin did set that up knowing that. Like I'm sure Ref knows that there's limited shots available, but uh you just like if he has 50% to die, he's still doing pretty well.
Yep. Yeah, I think Raf took that 50-50 knowing that the 50 in the crouton direction is a little bit bigger.
Yeah, I did grief that a bit. I believe if Complex had his way, he would have shot Ref, so it's all good.
Was Pengu a little bit anxious maybe? I want to win. I've lost a lot of games. Pingu try harding. And he was VT. Killing anti-mayor teams. Hmm. Fix 1.2 with this.
What is this math? Ref. Okay.
Wait, what is going on? Either
He's talking
take
about like Percival lines uh for people Percy to Goofy or something. I mean, it is certainly possible James to be Merlin. I just feel like it's a bit unlikely with the 2-5 stall. Like if James is Merlin, are they not just happy to basically insta pick and take well over 50% win rate, I would think.
exactly, just like Raf said, Goofy can be very well Merlin, but social reading her actions just
I
make
mean,
her the
again,
Merlin.
we it is possible that they went to pee or something, but uh,
Yeah,
can't can't uh, account for that.
should Penguin fuck it. Penguin adding Mayor. Impossible, it's not Merlin.
I mean, Pingu, I feel like is probably the best shot with the way the game played. I'm not gonna say you have more than like 35% win rate shooting him, but it feels like the best option.
Goofy Pingu or Goofy Mayor? What's this is really funny. Goofy Pingu, Goofy Mayor.
I
If
mean,
it
maybe
turns
it'll be
out to
one of
be
those.
Goofy and Naoki, that's just gonna be kinda funny.
I guess they just think that 1-4 is always off picking two VTs. That's something, but I feel like if Goofy's the other thing, if Goofy's Percival to Mare, I don't know how much Jams knows about Mare's play, but I would be very worried about Mare setting up his co-spy and just that it's just bottom. Like and 1-4 destroys that and you give Dev no chance if
And
he's
also
Merlin.
Goofy to Mayor, like Goofy sees 1.1. Goofy sees
Yeah.
1.1, and she's
Yeah,
about
no.
to have this his team,
Both of
exactly.
these lines, I just hate them. If it's Goofy to Pingu, Goofy gives Dev zero chance with 1-4 and just the way the whole game went. And then it's Goofy to Mare,
Yeah,
Goofy's
because why is she
again giving
killing?
Dev no chance and also just not following Merlin for no reason.
Yeah, if it's Goofy to Pingu, then 1.4 is just auto-racing Mayor
Yeah,
after he does 1.1 because she's off picking 2 VTs.
yeah, and it's forcing a 2 Merlin M1. So,
Yeah, it's like question mark, question mark, question mark.
I mean, okay, I guess it's possible, but I really don't believe that's a likely scenario.
Yeah, it's possible among all of the explanations of the game, but I think we can just find a combo that explains the game a little bit more in a more plausible way.
Yeah, but the ref rating seems to be focused on Goofy Percival, someone in the top two for I guess 1-4 reasons, but it's a bit of a stretch, I think.
Something in me really wants it to be Goofy to Enoki.
I GM'd Inoki just for fun. I don't think I would shoot him in the game, but I GM'd him.
Yeah, I also don't think I would have it in me to shoot Enoki, to be fair.
He's the player who did the least. Like objectively, he did 1-3, which is the least powerful M1 of all four res M1s. And then I mean sure 2-4 is clean, but he follows 2-3 in doing so.
The
So
only reason for Enoki to be even considered as Merlin is because of Goofy's 2.5.
yeah, I'm wondering.
Bingo Merlin, and we lost. We need to
I
win
mean,
this one, by the way.
Pingu feels like a good shot, but it's not going to be Goofy Percival. It's going to be Mayor Percival setting up 2 million M1. He's
I
much
can
more likely to do
actually
that than
see
Goofy
that.
is.
It would be hilarious. Maybe there's a world of Enoki Percival to Pingu.
Yeah, that's possible as well. I would say Inu can basically be anything here. His picks are pretty pretty weak compared to the other picks, I feel like.
I would say 2.4 is something.
It's definitely something that's fair. It's not a kind of pick I would make, which I don't really know how to judge that fairly. Like I get it, but I almost always pick 2-5 because I want the chance that they pick me.
Mm-hmm.
The funny thing is he got on 2-5 after not picking Goofy, but that feels like a rare outcome.
Mainly because of Mayor's chat.
Yeah, Mayor asked for it, yes. I mean, that's definitely a reason for Mayor to maybe be Merlin. He's like cringe chatting, sort of, but to change clean to also clean, like okay.
Mm-hmm. And Goofy VT's like, sees MTU clean and she's like, oh yes, I saved Pingu. Pingu was
Save the
probably
game. It
spy.
was anti-Pingu dev. Oh wait, no, it's actually just every possible pick
Uh-oh.
was clean.
Mayor.
Let's they have like 7 minutes left. They really are gonna take 30 minutes on a clean M2.
Yeah, Pingu to Mayor. I was thinking about this for a second. But then
Pingu
it
to Mayor, I could believe.
but then it's like, why is he removing Duff? Like he's kinda changing Merlin's.
He's just doing it because he thinks 1-1 is likely to be Merlin because Idon picked a res, which is valid.
That would be if he was wrong. Then
It's bad. It's really bad if you're wrong. At least if Goofy is res.
hmm yeah,
If
if
it
it
were
would be
Mayor Goofy
right
spies, then it's
hindsight,
okay.
right hindsight and Def or like
Yeah,
anti-mayor Anoki.
yeah,
Uh, I mean, no, just right hindsight and 1+1 would be clean. Is what I'm trying to say.
yeah. I know what you mean.
Then the game would be
Mayor
so smart
does. I
prone.
mean, I mentioned it. He does set up clean to spy. I've seen it a good number of times.
And
But
Pingu should know that. I also know
oh,
that.
I'm sure he
You know that.
does. Pingu has a lot of similar type reads to me. I mean,
So him being
uh,
Percival to Def and Mayor is just, I think, very unlikely given that.
Auto res Mare because of Tourney standings. I'll go for it. Team is Dev on. He's on team 6, right? Yeah, they're doing
Yep.
pretty well.
Yeah, they're doing very good today.
Yeah, if I hit the shot on Refrain, it would be you and us tied for first on 13, but now you're 10 points up because of that swing.
So Pink was dying.
Sure. Well, hopefully he's not Merlin.
Hopefully he's not Merlin. It's Goofy to Inoki, and okay, I'm gonna
Yeah.
GM Inoki for the gamer reasons.
All right. I respect that. It'll be Goofy Merlin, and then we're all just gonna look dumb. But if it is Goofy Merlin, the 2/5 stall is actually quite smart. Well, I mean, it's not.
Mm-hmm.
It's like it's risky but kind of smart. Like
It doesn't look
you're risking
Merlin.
on Merlin, but you also
Yeah.
die way less if people don't want Merlin. So like I could see Mare to Goofy, who's like, oh, my Merlin's stalling. I suggest a different VT, but then they were all just clean.
Pingu is going next. Next life.
I mean, you can't be that sold on anyone, ref.
Yeah,
Your
exactly.
best shot is gonna be like a bit above 30% odds to hit in this kind of game. That's just rough, but it is how it is.
He just POE that I'm shooting him? What does it mean?
PoE is process of elimination.
Ah, process of elimination.
He seems to think that the others aren't Merlin for X or Y reason.
And Pingu is gonna die. Alright, let's see the outcome.
All right. Well, Pingu's dying. Let's see. Oh, it was Inoki
We
Merlin.
fucking won!
Wrong Percy, but we GM'd correctly. Let's go.
He was actually Merlin.
All right.
Doing nothing.
The Inu Merlin GM comes through. Let's go.
We got it. 4 people, 4 gamers. Actually, more people GM'd correctly than incorrectly. And one of them
Yeah, I
was
wonder.
you.
I wonder what
Oh, it was bad.
influenced Salty and Z. Obviously, we don't know.
Alright, that was a very cool game. Unfortunately, clean MT, but I enjoyed it anyway. Thanks for
Yeah, it's
being
fun.
here with me, and thank you guys for watching.
All right, GG.